And so you believe that what we've seen over the last 24 hours is just a manifestation of the fragility, frankly, of the
entire market. And I mean, if you look at, how the entire banking sector dropped, and you say, like, I think, unfortunately, a lot of people were just looking for excuses to, it's panic, a little bit of panic. I believe completely unwarranted, whether it be for Credit Suisse or for the entire market. We did have a failure last week, but that's nothing to do with what we saw in 2008. This is just one isolated incident. The regulators cut off the contagion and any possibility of spillover. And I think all the major regulators have shown that for the systemically important banks, they've done enough fence building and prudence and additional spare capital that those are protected. And for the smaller banks, the regulators have the resolve to cut off any potential contagion effects.
Now, back at the end of last year when you took that 9.9% stake in that capital raise, we had this conversation about how much money you were basically willing to buy in to Credit Suisse. If they were to do another capital raise in the future, would you be willing to continue at that level and in terms of increasing
Well,
that
the red line we have is 9.9. We will not go above that. To our knowledge, they are not looking for capital. They have not.
But if they did, would you?
I don't think they would. Honestly, they're very well capitalized. I think if you look at what even the Swiss Central Bank said yesterday is that we've looked at all the ratios, they're all sound, everything's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll need more capital.
It's interesting because when we're sitting here in Saudi Arabia, we talk so often about the break-even price for Saudi. We talk about 80, we talk about $90 a barrel. But in my conversations yesterday with Saudi's finance minister, he was essentially saying, listen, we've moved beyond the price of a barrel because we have billions elsewhere.
That's true.
And Saudi National Bank is a part of that. They're your biggest backer.
Yes. And if you look at the ratio of oil revenue versus non-oil revenue, that's gone up by a huge amount. And I think we see even in the credit rating and the stability and the improvement of the credit rating of Saudi Arabia, a lot of that comes from the fact that we have fiscal discipline now to a level that is really, world class. And this diversity.
The level of transparency has improved.
And the transparency. But the discipline also of, when you collect revenue and what you do with the revenue that you collect, and the ratio of non-oil revenue versus oil revenue, all of these ratios have improved tremendously. So